Man, my neighbor out here motherfucking tripping, y'all. I cannot, I will not, and I won't. I will not do this today. Not today. Fix it.
Welcome back with another banger. It's the React Files. Let's get straight to it.
Did you guys hear about JD Vance on the river in Ohio?
I saw some headlines. I don't know what happened.
He wanted to do like a kayaking thing with his family on this river in Ohio. Apparently Secret Service asked for the river to be flooded higher so that they could have motorboats behind the kayak to protect him.
What?
So they literally raised the river up for his kayaking trip.
And that's an insane amount of power. Just to be like, I need more water.
Did he say that? Was he like...
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if he even was aware of...
The Secret Service dared to ask.
Yeah, well, they did it.
He said, I want to go kayaking. And they're like, oh, yes, sir. And then they go and they probably figure out all the details. It's like, well, the river's too low. It's like, fix it. Make more river.
So there's a dam that they released. But that dam was closed because of research, I would assume, on where the water level should be for everything that flows downward. And they were like, all that science doesn't matter. It'll be fine.
Just a little more.
That's so funny.
We'll just seed some clouds upriver and speed up.
That's my thing. It was like, that would have been hilarious if it just happened to rain a ton.
That shows how little they care about environmental impact, and that angers me.
Are you some hippie?
Get out of here, dream ogre.
People are finding spiders inside of their houses that are literally turning into zombies, which sounds fake, but it's not. So there's a fungus that's now going around that's called GA, and it does the creepiest thing imaginable. It infects a spider, it crawls through its body, and then it eats it alive from the inside out. So basically, it's Taco Bell, but for spiders. This fungus is literally taking full control of the spiders. It forces them to climb around high up on walls and ceilings. Then it sprouts out of the spider's body, covering it in white fuzz like something straight out of The Last of Us. And scientists are saying that it basically puppeteers the spider's final movement so it crawls into the perfect spot with perfect airflow to spread its spores. That's like the show Disney on Ice, but it's sponsored by Satan. They're saying that originally this fungus that's getting to spiders was only ever seen deep in Irish caves, but now it's in the US. The headlines are blowing up on social media right now saying that the spiders have been spotted in American homes. Yeah, cool, as if Rent wasn't already terrifying enough, now we have zombie spiders on the ceiling too. There was actually one homeowner that said that her entire shed was filled with them and she hasn't opened her windows since. Was this really her shed, or was this actually the set for Stranger Things Season 5? Obviously, keep a lookout for the zombie spiders. I give you these roundups every day though, so make sure you add me and come back to me tomorrow.
I would have threw 2 bug bombs in that joint. Ain't no way I'm letting something like that sit up in my crib. It ain't happening. I'm actually losing count with all these Last of Us type animals appearing on the scene. So we got squirrels, rabbits, deer, now spiders. Shout outs to Nick Jackson. This is crazy.
Hey, it's them ice cream trucks. Oh, hell nah. Oh, hell nah. Hey, stop. Hey, stop taking them kids, motherfucker. Yo. Is this shit not creepy? Yo, is this shit not creepy?
California resident has just tested positive for the Black Plague. Bro, what? Now this happened in South Lake Tahoe, where this person was bitten by an infected rodent flea which comes from chipmunks, squirrels, etc. Which back in the day it's referred to as Black Death, and it killed about 50 million people in the 14th century, but today not so much. And this happens more often than you think because annually about 5 to 7 people actually catch the plague, and even somebody last month died in Arizona from the plague. And if you guys remember, they had the zombie rabbits, then they had the squirrels with the virus, now a plague from the 14th century, which something we really shouldn't worry about because it's actually a distraction. But from what, you ask? Can anybody tell me why there's over 100 kids missing in Virginia and 40 of those missing in the last 2 weeks? But it gets even weirder because there's numerous reports all around Virginia where these mysterious ice cream trucks are rolling around late at night with the music on.
At 9 o'clock at night, like, there's no out there. Nobody's getting ice cream. He's just sitting there playing his loud ass.
Now, Virginia State Police debunked this claim about this mass abduction and they said it never happened, but here's the thing. I actually did some investigating myself, going to the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children, and can confirm this is happening. Which I find even more odd that school's now back in session and now we have all these abductions happening. Why does this sound familiar? Has anybody seen this new movie, Weapons, where it sounds eerily similar to the story plot where a classroom full of kids disappear in the middle of the night? Interesting. And if you notice that this movie came out on August 8th, 8/8, I do find it odd that Virginia's population is 8.8 million people. They always put it in the movies. But it doesn't stop there, because I found this article they just released saying scientists identify how young blood reverses aging in human skin cells. It reads, the idea from taking the blood from the young to rejuvenate the elderly, just like the movie. Got it. Stay focused, stay sharp, make sure you guys get into my Telegram. But what do you guys think about all this? Let me know below.
Think that is an odd connection. Shout out to Maverick Approach. Good looking on doing that research. Came out on 8.8 million people. Reports were saying 88 were missing at one point. Yo, I gotta check this movie out. What's going on? Let me know if you've seen this movie in the comments down below.
When Elias Brotberger goes to work, he doesn't need ID. And he doesn't need money. In fact, much of what he needs to get through the day is hidden right there, just below the surface, in his hand.
You like to touch it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, weird. Yeah, it's like a grain of rice.
Yeah, a grain of rice.
Embedded in his hand is a microchip that serves as his keys, his ID, and his wallet.
Yeah, it's all in chip, so I use it like to get around the building.
Buy snacks.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's buy some snacks.
Exactly.
So I can't open it.
No.
Okay.
So what I need to do is I need to first blip my chip, and it will log me in, and from there I get access to the fridge.
Popular TV shows like Black Mirror have imagined chips as part of a dystopian future.
Install ingrain procedure with local anesthetic and you're good to go.
In Sweden, the microchips are already here.
No man shall buy or trade without the mark, huh? Shouts to Sweden. Telling y'all need to go see Black Mirror if you haven't already. Talk about truth in plain sight. A lot of that framework of these episodes is already here, laying the groundwork for more to come.
My Tesla won't open. My baby's inside the car. 686821.
No fucking physical way to open this.
Okay.
I'm checking the options that we have here.
Yeah, I took a video of it. I was trying to open it.
What's happening in Serbia right now is absolutely insane. The country has seen anti-government protests for the last 10 months straight now. And what's crazy is that instead of the president stepping down or new elections being held like they are demanding, what's happened is that another group of protesters have come out to protest the protests. This new group is pro-government and they want the chaos that these protests have caused to stop. So there are now videos that show riot police standing in between both pro and anti-government crowds, which ultimately ended the exact way that you would imagine. Night after night, clashes have been taking place, with police using batons, tear gas, smoke bombs, and flares to try and deter the chaos in the crowds. And guess what? It gets even crazier. Yet another group of protests are now taking place, and this time is to protest the police violence against the protesters. Did I mention there were protests in Serbia? And these crowds are chanting, "We are not a punching bag." And the problem is, the more the protesters demand the government step down, the more the president, Alexander Vučić, vows a harsher crackdown. So Serbia at this point isn't just facing discontent. This is quickly turning into a battle over the country's future. And as always, I'll keep you guys updated.
Hopefully they find peace. Shout out to Serbia, shout out to Dylan Page. Look like they having an ongoing civil war right now. 3 different protest groups are wild.
You're gonna love this. So China keeps their pyramids secretive, pretty under wraps, for a really good reason. They don't really know what they are. The 40 that we know of are claimed to be burial mounds when no bodies have ever been found in them, just around them. What I'm about to show you is just 15 of them. They're deliberately buried with shallow-rooted trees planted on top of them. They publicly say they don't have the resources or technology to properly excavate these without damaging them. Now, a lot of these are concentrated in 2 specific areas, but one area in particular has a bunch of them just in a straight line. The tricky thing with these is they don't really look like pyramids from above. You have to use the 3D feature on Google Earth to really see where these are at in the landscape. But as soon as you do that, then you see the line of pyramids across miles and miles and miles of the Chinese landscape. It's just pyramid after pyramid after pyramid in random fields. These are not small either. A few of them have more volume than the Great Pyramid of Giza. The main problem still is a lot of people don't know what these are called or even where to start looking to find them. But being able to view them from above using a map with the locations mapped out has a couple useful features. Take the Zion pyramids, for example. They share the same alignment as Teotihuacan in Mexico and Giza that correlates with the constellation of Orion. From the ground, you can't see that Anchor aligns with Draco or the Yucatan aligns with everything. Now, what I'm using is my personal map of the remnants of the ancient world. There are over 300 of these places scattered across the globe. This took me years to compile, but it's really cool. So if you go down the Nile, for example, there's a ton of ruins, but you don't know where they are or what they're called. So I marked them, and now you know there's a pyramid on top of that mountain. So let's go to America. There are 118 pyramids in Egypt, but there are over 2,000 in America. This part of the map is just the known pyramids. The coolest part is when you zoom out and you get to see the whole thing, the entire scale of what they built. Like, you don't know there's a pyramid on top of this mountain here unless you live there or you're very familiar with the area, but there it is. If you own Hidden History already, it's already updated on the map automatically. If you want it, you can acquire it for a whopping $17, which will buy me a haircut and my girlfriend flowers, who had to put up with me inputting coordinates into Google Earth for 12 hours last night.
I think it's $17 well spent, if you ask me. Shout outs to baseforge.us. Definitely appreciate him for doing all this hard work. I would definitely love to know where those pyramids are. Get my Indiana Jones on.
Who remembers the Miami Mall incident like a year or 2 ago? You remember that, dude? This video's breaking the internet, dude. Look, this right here, you ain't never seen this footage ever. I'm the only one that's got it. Watch this. They had to mute the audio for some reason, man, like protect themselves, but just watch. Look, the alarms are going off on down here. Here's another angle right here, dude. Look. Come on now.
I just find it hard to believe that a person could get that close to it without shaking, or another civilian in the public just screaming, looking at it, pointing at it, something. I can't even tell if this is Miami. Calling cap on this one. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below.
You lost the technology to get us to the moon. Where did it go?
They lost the tapes of the moon landing. What you watch when Neil Armstrong climbs off the LEM, One Small Step for Man, that was projected on a wall in NASA, and the networks were like, hey, can we just get the direct feed? Like, no, we're going to do it this way. Then they lost all those tapes, lost the telemetry. When asked, why don't we go back? NASA said, well, we can't replicate that technology. It's too difficult. NASA astronauts saying, oh, we think we found a way now that we can finally get past the Allen radiation belt. We already did that, man, didn't didn't we? 17 times, but they lost it.
Unbelievable.
Russia was first to everything. Russia has Sputnik, first man-made satellite, man in orbit, first animal in orbit, first woman in orbit, first spacewalk. It's all first. And you can hear JFK saying, like, no matter how much money we throw at it, we're going to be second. And then suddenly, 1969, we surpass all of the Soviets and we land on the moon.
Did we?
I don't buy it. Americans who don't believe that we went to the moon, it's rising every year. I hope I have nothing to do with that.
I'm sure you have something to do with that.
Neil and Buzz, the President of the United States is in his office now and would like to say a few words to you. Over. That would be an honor. Go ahead, Mr. President. This is Houston out.
Hello, Neil and Buzz. I'm talking to you by telephone from the Oval Room at the White House. And this certainly has to be the most historic telephone call ever made. I just can't tell you how proud we all are of what you do. For every American, this has to be the proudest day of our lives. And for people all over the world, I am sure they too join with us in recognizing what an immense feat this is. Because of what you have done, the heavens have become a part of man's world. And as you talk to us from the sea of tranquility, it inspires us to redouble our efforts to bring peace and tranquility to earth. For one priceless moment in the whole history of man, all the people on this earth are truly one. One in their pride in what you have done, and one in our prayers that you will return safely to earth.
What if climbing a staircase could show you exactly how you're going to die? There's a place in Brazil, Indiana called the 100 Steps Cemetery, and it is supposed to be one of the most haunted graveyards in the entire Midwest. By day, it looks totally ordinary, just like a rural cemetery with an old stone staircase. But by night, people swear that something in the air changes. Some say that the steps don't even feel like stone anymore. They claim that they feel more like bones. The legend says that you have to go there at midnight, and you start at the bottom of the staircase. You then have to count each of the 100 steps out loud as you climb. That's when you meet him at the very top, the ghostly Undertaker. He has no face, he just has a dark suit, and some people say that he points directly to your future grave. Others claim that he shows you a vision, exactly how you're going to die, and that once you have seen that vision, you cannot unsee it, and this drives you into total madness. You then have to go down the stairs, slowly counting each step again. And if your final count doesn't match with the 100 that you started with, the vision that you saw isn't just a warning. It is now locked in. And it will happen. Like people say, if you try to cheat, if you try skipping steps or cutting across the hill, a ghostly hand comes up from the ground and shoves you hard enough to leave a red handprint on your skin. People say that this handprint burns. It's like getting like a branding. People who have done this ritual talk about having nightmares. Others say that they see shadow figures moving through the gravestones long after they have left. The worst stories are about the people who said that their visions started bleeding into real life, exactly how they were shown by the Undertaker. Even skeptics can admit that there is something deeply wrong about this place, and police constantly have to patrol the area because so many thrill seekers come in. That's why they put up this sign that says closed from dusk to dawn. But locals claim that this land was cursed from the start, and this cemetery is built over top of unmarked graves and violent deaths. And maybe that's the reason why this ritual feels more dangerous than just your average ghost story. Would you try this game? Let me know and follow for more.
I would definitely visit, but I wouldn't play the game. Shoutouts to Grace Mitchellek. That's insane. Would you do it? Let me know in the comments down below.
We know right now today that the American military has satellite technology that can actually transmit sounds into an individual person's mind. They can pinpoint you from space and transmit voices into your mind. They also have one on the ground. It's called the active denial system. And the active denial system can transmit an invisible frequency directly to you. Now they have it more sophisticated. It can move through a crowd of people and target one person's ear. And it can make it sound like there's voices in your head. So that's something else. Now, is this the ancient technology of the gods that we've rediscovered? It's quite possible.
Project Bluebeam is going to be absolutely sick, but you have no idea how much it really entails. It's a lot. It's actually happening right now. We'll get to this in 1 second. Satelloons, the alien agenda, things like this popping in the sky, and before you say it, people have already checked it through AI monitors and it was not AI. So one of two things, either that thing was really in the sky, it looks kind of weird though, right, the light? Or it was reverse engineered, being engineered by the intelligence of fallen angels and demons and other things they conjure up. People constantly say that Project BB is going to be for an alien invasion. But really though, because everything I've read from decades ago paints a much bigger picture. All this stuff is just beyond your imagination. We have demons, we have fallen angels, we have genetic modifications that may or may not be under your feet. But let me put you on to something. What are all these satelloons for? And by the way, this whole video is satire, obviously. Well, all these satelloons are going to be used in conjunction with BB to broadcast giant gods or your god in the air. Brain the skull technology so you'll hear your god. Again, this is all just fantasy. Now, some of you know I was talking about this 3 years ago. Well, what if? What is the one surefire thing they could do to make all Christians lose hope completely and fall away for good? Y'all have no idea the technology that these people really hold. I told my wife years ago, if we ever disappear, I disappear, and you're saved and you're still here, it's not the rapture, but a plan organized by beings so much more intelligent than we are. That could be something that could deceive the very elect, if at all possible. Just a parallel. By the way, this right here, look how big the river is. It's taking up a whole half of the earth, right? So that'd be about 25-30%. But the real Nile River is only 16% of the earth's circumference. And what is that shadow right here doing from that? How is that possible? Humanity needs to stop thinking they're so smart and start trusting in God and Him alone. I hate to break it to you, regardless what does happen, who knows? I can tell you one thing, it's going to be out of this world, casting shadows upon the globe.
And that fake rapture with Project BB could definitely be a huge deception if it was to happen. Some scary times.
What the heck is going on in the state of California? Because somebody tested positive for the bubonic plague. And if you're unfamiliar with what the bubonic plague is, I think you should look it up. The bubonic plague is most known for its name, the Black Death. It was a devastating plague that swept through Europe, Asia, and North Africa from 1346 to 1353. It killed 1/3 of Europe's population and devastated millions of lives. The way it's being reported and the way they're making it sound is like it's no big deal at all, but it really is. It's caused by a pestis bacteria. It is spread by fleas on rats. It's also spread by other types of rodents. So be aware if you have cats or dogs in your home, they can be affected by this as well. Just a warning, especially if you walk your dogs in certain areas where fleas are present and you have outdoor cats, they can bring these fleas into your home. Officials are saying that the person that was initially diagnosed with the bubonic plague is doing much better. But the question is, what if he didn't get help immediately? And other people out there that are unaware of what's going on. This is why you need to be very careful with this and pay close attention to yourself, especially if you love the outdoors, wooded areas, wherever there are fleas. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments, and as always, I'd love to hear from you.
New flea collars for the pets is on the shopping list for sure. Shout out to the Jode69.
Well, the Lone Star tick has made its way to California and infected over hundreds of people in the last few months with AGS, a rare disease that makes humans allergic to red meat and dairy, forcing them to go vegan, which is interesting considering a World Economic Forum scientist said this just a couple years ago.
About milk intolerance, and there's some people are intolerant to crayfish. So possibly we can use human engineering to make it the case that we're intolerant to certain kinds of meat. to certain kinds of bovine proteins. And there's actually analogs of this in life. There's this thing called the Lone Star tick, where if it bites you, you will become allergic to meat. I can sort of describe the mechanism. So that's something that we can do through human engineering. We can kind of possibly address really big world problems through human engineering.
That was Dr. Matthew Lau in 2016 when there was about 34,000 cases of AGS in the United States. Skip forward to today, there's over 450,000 Americans affected. How are they getting from Texas to California? Climate change. What is it ultimately going to help? Climate change. It's just crazy that this happened in Martha's Vineyard, where the global elites and WEF members vacation in the summer. Is this just an experiment or a coincidence? As always, let me know what you think about all of this down below.
Mutated animals are gripping the US in a bizarre warts-like outbreak. Deer across the country have been spotted with tumour-like growths hanging off their bodies. These deer join the likes of rabbits and squirrels who have showed signs of similar viruses in recent months. Wildlife officials have already identified the condition as deer cutaneous fibroma, better known as deer warts, which is a condition spread through disease-carrying insects, and it's spreading like wildfire. These wart growths are species-specific, and it is understood that they cannot jump to humans or other animals.
Nah. Hey, don't be late to the party tonight.
Where at?
You know where it's at. Nah, go ahead, babe. Nah. Go ahead, babe. Nah. Didn't I tell you to put the phone down? Uh-oh, somebody's gonna have to pay for that. Da. Hey, for everybody coming to the party! La. Yes, I am serving you. And you better be at that party tonight. That's gonna be a beautiful sunrise. Give me that phone so I can throw it. I wanna throw it far away so you never see it again. I don't like phones. Don't miss the party tonight. Why are you still here? You need to be telling everybody about the party, girl. What's your problem?
What is going on in Hollywood, you guys? As soon as I saw this video, I thought, what did they do to Little Nas X? I know a lot of you are going to be making content laughing about it, saying, oh, it's just Hollywood. He got to the good stuff. Why has this become the norm in Hollywood for celebrities to completely lose their minds? What is happening to them? A lot of people said that he was trolling when he created this video, which you can't find on his TikTok account anymore, but are we looking at a Martin Lawrence situation? Now, a lot of people were just going to chalk this up to, oh, it's just a celebrity who is lost in Hollywood, just like Amanda Bynes, Britney Spears, Justin Bieber, and so many others. However, have any of you heard of the term human party favors? Does it sound like to you that he is maybe repeating something that a handler kept demanding of him, or someone in the music industry that owns him? Listen closely.
I am serving you, and you better be at that party tonight. Oh, Sean, man, can't talk me.
Maybe entertaining or being involved in these types of things isn't a game after all. Maybe Hollywood isn't this bright, beautiful place where all of your dreams come true, because to me, it's all looking more like a nightmare these days. And could we be seeing evidence of how all of this does affect the mind, body, and soul of the vessels they choose?
To be honest, I think it's a humiliation ritual, you ask me. Shout out to A Truth for You.
Anyone else find it kind of weird there was a whole missing minute in the released Epstein security footage, and that Attorney General Pam Bondi insisted this is totally normal, that the same minute is missing every night at this prison due to a nightly reset? The same person who herself claimed the Epstein list was on her desk a few months ago, around which time many political influencers were waving binders around claiming to hold phase 1 of the Epstein files. You remember that? And now, after years of talking about the list, the FBI and DOJ officially concluded there is no list, whose report shows there is no evidence that Epstein blackmailed any powerful figures, nor kept a client list, nor was while in jail. A conclusion they reached coincidentally just shortly after Elon Musk tweeted that Trump is on the list. And so the Department of Justice publicly released this security footage to debunk the myths that someone got to him while he was locked up, which mysteriously jumps ahead by 1 minute at 11:59 p.m. But then further analysis revealed that there's actually closer to 2 minutes and 53 seconds missing in the security footage, not just a minute. Forensic video expert Andrew Garrett concluded the video they released is highly edited and is in fact several clips compiled together, because the metadata showed that it was edited with Adobe Premiere Pro and that it cut and stitched multiple clips together and was saved repeatedly on May 23rd, 2025. Not to mention, this is footage that was previously deemed lost, then corrupted, then accidentally deleted, but now just appeared out of nowhere, and it barely even shows us anything. This isn't even footage from Jeffrey's actual jail cell, not even the corridor leading to his wing, but rather a camera tucked away way back in the corner. This camera right here, this is their proof? We do see him briefly getting escorted to his cell by prison guards in the background here for a moment, which is the last time he's ever seen alive on camera, walking him to the staircase leading to his actual jail cell, which is conveniently just off camera. And shortly after, we see this, a mysterious orange figure walking up those same stairs to where Epstein's cell actually was, which the official explanation claims it was a correctional officer carrying linens and inmate clothing. But Connor McCourt, another forensic video expert, disagrees, saying that this was almost definitely an inmate wearing a jumpsuit, walking up to Epstein's cell block just hours before he was found dead, leading to many popular online theories that someone was either let into his cell to finish the job or to help him escape, faking his own death and starting a new life somewhere else under the radar. This is the only camera angle they released, with Epstein's cell in red, and the orange figure was seen exactly at this staircase. As you can see, this camera is not even close to where he actually was, and again, this is the evidence they gave us to close the case. And just look at the whole layout. This would have been a perfect entry for someone to just walk in and get up to a cell block, or for him to get out, perfectly covered by the wall from this camera angle. Oh, and this camera back here that recorded his own cell block and would have given us the definitive proof of what actually happened malfunctioned that night. Actually, as a matter of fact, all cameras malfunctioned that night. The only one that didn't is the one that conveniently has the stairs to his cell block just out of view. That's literally in their official report. Every camera in that cell block simultaneously broke and got corrupted that night. Like, who on earth actually believes this? In 2020, the correctional facility revealed that the footage recorded that night was permanently destroyed by accident due to technical errors. The exact same time that guards forgot to check on him the moment he took his own life. Oh, and Jeffrey's cellmate was Nicholas Tartaglione, a convicted quadruple life sentence ex-cop serial strangler. But no, he definitely did it himself, right? Now, what's really bizarre is that for the longest time, the FBI insisted they had over 300 gigabytes of data about the Epstein files that they were going to release. Maria Farmer, a former employee of Jeffrey Epstein, alleged that he had hidden cameras all over his New York City mansion that monitored private moments, including in bedrooms and bathrooms. And recent footage from inside his New York City manor confirms this, as we can clearly see cameras everywhere. Among other disturbing things, like this statue of a woman in a wedding dress hanging from a rope in his lobby. But this camera footage clearly exists somewhere. It didn't just disappear, and I wonder what possible reason they could have to not investigate it, teasing us for months that they were finally going to release the files, the client list, bring justice to the victims, and lock up the perpetrators. Yet now they say there's no list, no files, and further disclosure of Epstein-related material wouldn't be appropriate or warranted, which makes no sense, because people like FBI Director Kash Patel were talking about exposing corruption for months, and now this. Files and client lists that once existed and now don't. Footage from security tapes that conveniently got corrupted or are just highly edited and show us nothing. But the couple pixels of orange blur we do see paints a completely different story of what really happened. But at this point, what even is real anymore?
It's hard to tell, especially these days. Shout out to Phil's Pixel.
The Ghislaine Maxwell interview is out, and the Department of Justice just released the transcripts. I don't know why this is not on video. Surely they recorded it, but this is some of the interesting things that she said. She said the partner in crime of Jeffrey Epstein, she's in jail for trafficking kids for him, I do not believe he died by suicide. We have been told by so many people, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, Department of Justice, everyone, that he killed himself And Ghislaine Maxwell says that she believes that he didn't. They also asked her, did you ever observe President Trump receive a massage? Ghislaine Maxwell says never. I actually never saw the president in any type of massage setting. I never witnessed the president in any inappropriate setting in any way. The president was never inappropriate with anybody. In the times that I was with him, he was a gentleman in all respects. I'm just delivering the message. To me being me, it just still feels a little bit off. I want to see videos of her talking. I want to see this interview, but let me know what you guys think about all of this. As more information comes in, I'll be sure to keep you guys updated.
So we have the cubes in the South Pacific Ocean on Google Earth. You can see it down there. Let's keep going. The cubes that came out of the sun, they called it a particle event. It was not a particle event. It was not. Okay. You can see my video. This is the sun with the cubes that are still coming out. This is the Borg. The Borg, the black cube. These were the cubes in the South Pacific. I dubbed this Cube Island. And that's what they look like up close. They are the same type that you can see by the sun.
Somebody, please tell me this is not real. Shout outs to Light Warrior 555. And if these cubes are real, what are they? What are they? Has anybody else heard about this? Let me know in the comments down below.
The night's rare black moon is esoterically connected to prophetic divination and the apocalypse in the fall of the lunar cycle that is also interconnected to the tribulation period. With that being said, this moon is a metaphysical timestamp that's interconnected to the doomsday clock. Now, when you get into connotative linguistics and etymology, when you look at the prefix of the word tribulation, you get tri. Tri is equated to 3. So that means that the moon is not going to come back into another 3 years, the black moon. So the 3-year gap of the abomination of desolation is a trinity principle that reinforces mind, body, and spirit, past, present, and future, that is also equated to death, rebirth, and ascension. But what I'm basically saying is that the moon is an artificial celestial megastructure that feeds off the sustenance and the energy of humans. So that's why you have to use psychic self-defense to protect yourself during the time of the harvest season. Because this is the epitome of Luciferian moon magic. So they're going to ramp up their rituals. They're going to ramp up those incantations and these psychological operations. So tonight's rare black moon is a notification for the Great Reset. I'm going to say it again. Tonight's rare black moon is a notification for the Great Reset. Now, when you get into the comics and everything, when Gotham City needed Batman, they put the sigil in the atmosphere, right? They put the hologram up, which is basically a signification that trouble was on the way. So with that being said, the same thing translates when you're talking about the timestamps of the moon, because the moon is what keeps us entrapped by time that's connected to the firmament. So this is basically the fall of the illusion.
What the fuck? Nothing beats a Jet2 holiday. And right now, you can save £50 per person. That's £200 off for a family of 4. Oh. We've got millions of free child place holidays available.
Oh, hell no.
22 kilograms of baggage included.
Open that shit up. Open that. What the fuck is wrong with your crazy ass?
Now, with Jet2 holidays. Package holidays.
Fuck is you doing?
Financial protected.
Fuck is you doing?
What the fuck? What are you doing? Get the fuck in!
Yo, what the fuck? What the fuck is that? Hey, pull over. Pull over. Hey, pull over. What the fuck? Hey, get the hey, pull the fuck over.
Cracker Barrel has officially announced their new redesigned restaurants, and they are losing customers fast. So if you have ever been to a Cracker Barrel before, if you have ever been to the South, then you know how good a Cracker Barrel is and how nostalgic the inside of it looks. This is what a Cracker Barrel restaurant normally looks like. However, because of the new redesigns that they just announced, this is now what Cracker Barrels look like. We have some sort of pictures on the wall. We also have some rolling pins, and everything is just painted white and doesn't look good. And people hate these redesigns so much that their stock has fallen 14% in a single day today. Not to mention, on top of the redesigns of the restaurant, this is the new logo redesign. You remember this logo right here? That is the nostalgic Cracker Barrel logo. Now we have this minimalist logo down here that just looks so tacky. And this woman right here is who is to blame. She is their new CEO, Julie Masino, who used to be in charge of Starbucks of all places, and she has the nerve to say that most of the managers and owners and operators all are begging to have their Cracker Barrel redesigned like these are. Not to mention, she has single-handedly lost Cracker Barrel about $100 million in value just today as the stock plummeted.
Well, 100 million speaks for itself. Shout out to TT Jabbing TV. I guess they wanted to make it more modern. I honestly thought they just changed the sign. I didn't know they changed the inside as well. Like, whoa. It definitely lost its personality.
Look, we had InvestFest. We turned plastic into oil, and they try to kidnap him. Yeah. But we got him here safe at InvestFest 2025. My man.
Glad to be here.
Man right here, man. He's a genius. He's actually a genius. He's one of the brilliant minds in our community and the world. Came to InvestFest. I appreciate that, bro.
Absolutely, man. I just asked the question, like, why do we even have this problem with plastic? So I wanted to know, what is plastic? Look it up. Plastic is made of petroleum. So you're telling me the thing that's polluting our oceans, that's polluting our bloodstream is made of fuel, something we go to war over? I'm like, it's a no-brainer. Let me turn it back into fuel to something valuable and solve the problem.
Look,
This brand new rental community in Tempe has all the amenities: fitness center, dog park, outdoor kitchens, but something's missing. So there are no cars in this community at all.
Isn't it great?
Cul-de-sac is the first community in the U.S. designed and built specifically for car-free living. Co-founder Ryan Johnson says the demand is strong.
Every generation, and including 92% of Gen Z, would like to pay more to live in a walkable neighborhood.
Retail, restaurants, and to start, nearly 200 apartments, all within steps of each other. No cars means no parking spaces, no garages.
Because we don't have residential parking, it opens us up to have 55% landscape space, and we get to add so much to the neighborhood.
Like social spaces around every corner. The complex is strategically located right next to the area's light rail system. All residents get a free pass. The first 200 also get a free electric e-bike, and a partnership with Lyft gets them discount rides.
I've been fine just going via rail or just biking.
Juan Ramos, among the first 100 to move in here, grew up in Arizona, but left because he didn't like the car-dependent sprawl. At 27, he just came back and says living car-free has opened his eyes.
Frankly, for most of the apartments I've lived in for years, I've never even talked to my neighbors. I know people, like, that's Pete over there, that's Ben over there, and I'm like, that's the first time I've said that.
Residents often gather near the retail stores, which focus on small businesses. Jada Stratman is moving both her Home Sense business and herself in.
It's not as affordable out here as it was a few years ago, you know, and having that opportunity to live and work where you are and just have it as one, that's perfect.
Walkable neighborhoods are all well and good when the weather's fine, but temperatures here in the summer can sit over 100 degrees for weeks at a time. And that'll be the real test to see if carless living can really go the distance. Lester?
All right, Diana. Looks like a Netflix movie I watched. Shout outs to the Pill of Truth. You will own nothing and be happy. It just sounds crazy to me.
Girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done. I like the girls with their nails done.
Anybody else noticing weird, odd things in the storms that are raging across the world right now? Well, this particular video comes out of Mexico from an Uber driver. They saw something standing on top of a building and have no idea what it is. It's an extremely tall, dark figure. And he was sitting there for a minute waiting for his rider. And the thing never moved, never left. But it's something. Take a look at this, comment below. Tell me what you think this could be.
Now that look trippy for real. I want to say it's a statue or something. Shout outs to the Paranormal chick.
Well, look at this newspaper from 1964 by the Bridgeport Sunday Post. It says the moon is a mirage, a reflection of the Earth's surface. Now this is very interesting, but check this out. This is the German World War II flat Earth map showing more continents and lands beyond the ice wall. So here's the map right here, and here's the moon. And you can see this is where we live right here, within this circle. And this is exactly what the Germans knew. And the map's also showing these continents outside of our ice wall, outside of the firmament. Now have a look at the Prague astronomical clock. This is the oldest working clock in the entire world. And not only does it track time, it tracks solar movements, it tracks equinoxes, it tracks lunar positions and the moon phases, it tracks zodiac signs, solstices, and the seasons with pinpoint accuracy running for over 600 years. In the middle of this clock, they used the moon map. This clock runs on a geocentric model with the heavenly bodies moving above our stationary Earth. It's the only way that it works, and it's the only way that it works so accurately. If the Earth was spinning and orbiting the sun and doing all sorts of crazy movements through the galaxy, you'd never be able to track with such precision. All our ancestors knew that the stars move above us. That's exactly what we observe. And you want to know something very interesting? During the pandemic, they renovated this clock. They renovated a 600-year-old Tartarian clock. And you want to know what they did? They changed the moon map, the flat Earth map in the middle of the clock to a globe. This is literally how they cover up the real origins of humanity and our true history, guys. This is an absolute abomination and disgrace to our ancestors. Don't you find it interesting how all these old newspapers, old maps, they all reflect exactly what our ancestors told us? And then, you know, the elites come in and rewrite all of our history, erase the history on the clocks and everything. Now, this is quite literally biblical stuff, guys. The moon reflects the earth. It is as above, so below. If you're a believer in the Bible and you still think that the earth is a globe, then you haven't read the Bible, because the Bible says it's stationary. There's a firmament above us. The moon reflects our stationary earth. You can see it. It's very obvious. They show the ice wall and everything. You've just been lied to about, look at this. You've been lied to about everything in your life, because what they're doing and why they lie about the heliocentric model and a spinning globe Earth is to hide God's true creation. They don't want you to know how powerful you are. They don't want you to know that you were intelligently created by an intelligent creator. They want you to think all of this came from a big bang, that there's no significance to life whatsoever, and you'll just stay stuck and trapped in their matrix system. But once you start to understand the truth, that is when you are set free. And the truth to everything lies within us all.
The truth lies within us. I agree. Shout out to Sheldon Soraya, 369.
Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday. And right now,
Are meteors really what they've been telling us they are? I found an awful weird video of a meteor acting very strange, but first, we just had yet another green comet going over Japan. But after watching the footage, it's just weird because these things change colors when they feel like it. So watch this real quick and tell me if you notice anything. I'm gonna slow it down in a second. Did you notice how it's continually flashing behind the cloud? Slow motion. And of course, there's much more than just meteors. There are these sprites that just happened over Spain. But let's come right back to these sprites. Alright, so we just saw how they can change brightness whenever they want, as many times as they want, right? But look at this right here. Pretty odd, as it's really, really slow. The camera's not slowed down, and just gets really quick out of nowhere, isn't it? It's crazy. So let me get this straight. They can brighten and darken as they want to, not as they're just entering the atmosphere. And they can change speed at will. They can go real slow, then all of a sudden just take over the whole sky. It's not the perspective. This thing clearly was not moving, and it wasn't bright, and all of a sudden it brightened up and went really fast. I just find it extremely odd, because in the Wisdom of Solomon, it talks about how falling stars are quite literally demons that cannot hold on anymore. But that's not all that happens in the sky like you see behind me. You know, sprites used in video games is a different representation of the dimension of that character. I wonder if it's the same thing for sprites in the sky, maybe a different representation of a certain spiritual character. Everything they've taught us is a lie, so you really have to wonder, like, what all is above our head being covered up by SpaceX? What do y'all think? Let me know in the comments.
I think these sprites are on a whole nother level. Shout outs to the real Moon Henry. But like the sky was glitching out.
in China just bought a facility in New Hampshire. Now, what is he doing? He actually bought it for his beverage company for over $60 million, way over the asking price. And it's right next to what? The town's water supply. He's gathering 2 million gallons per day for his beverage company. So now the Chinese have control of New Hampshire's water supply.
Like, how do you allow a whole nother country to buy up freeways because they bought highways
in your hometown,
in
New
your
Jersey,
hometown?
farmland, highways? So the Chinese just bought the data. You know those fast lanes? What do they call them in
the speed lanes? Yeah,
speed lanes, right? They just bought a highway, the whole entire data, and they sold it to China. So now they own that data in the highway.
Holy crap!
That's crazy, selling us our own water. Shout out to Maverick Approach. I seen basketball contracts worth more than 60 million. Anyone could have bought it.
What were they? So, gun to my head, I think they were used to generate energy. There's been research that certain wavelengths broadcast of the Great Pyramid will amplify that electromagnetic energy. But the pyramid power plant theory is a lot like Tesla's technology. The Giza Plateau, there is an aquifer under there. That water would create this resonant frequency, and they found copper rods that go down there. Those would create sound, F-sharp chords specifically. Like when you blow across a bottle, it goes, it's called a Helmholtz resonator. This chamber is built out of rose granite, densely made of quartz. And when you compress quartz, it creates electricity. It's called piezoelectricity. So how do we get it out? The interior is made out of a certain type of limestone, and that's called a dielectric. And if you had a gold capstone on top, you can force that energy up through the capstone and up into the ionosphere. And that's what Nikola Tesla was trying to do. What did they do with it? My guess is the Egyptians just found it. It's supposed to be the tomb for Khufu, but no mummy's ever been found.
And that's a wrap. Hope you enjoyed the deep dive. You enjoyed this video? Please consider to like and subscribe to the channel. Shout outs to all the reactors. Thanks again. Till next time.